Hi guys, welcome back to CP Mom and Daughter. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. On this channel, we talk about all things related to cerebral palsy and disability and a little bit more. So this month is actually Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. And I think that's really cool. Now, growing up, I did not know that there was a Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. I've always known that I've had cerebral palsy, but it wasn't something that we, as a family talked about or made a big deal out of. And it's not so much that I want to make a big deal out of cerebral palsy or having a disability now, but I just want to explain that, and for people to realize that it looks different for each person. Cerebral palsy is an umbrella term. There can be so many different things under it. And it's also a spectrum. You can have very, very mild cerebral palsy to where it only affects your left arm and nothing else. Or you can be affected where it affects your left arm and left leg, your right leg, your right arm, both your legs. Just cerebral means brain and palsy means paralyzed. So different parts of your brain are affected, excuse me, and that in turn affects different parts of your body. So today I wanted to share my story and just tell you a little bit more about my cerebral palsy journey, and I think I'll actually include a little bit of Misty's cerebral palsy journey as well. So originally I was born with, or it was discovered when I was 8 weeks old that I had water on my brain. And so I was diagnosed with what's called hydrocephalus, which literally means water on the brain. And then when I was about 3 years old, my mom and dad went to this party and there was a doctor there and they were talking about me and the situation and everything. And his comment was, well, if her situation hasn't changed, her main diagnosis is probably not hydrocephalus. Because a lot of people that have hydrocephalus, their condition continues to worsen and worsen. Once I received my shunt, the damage that was done was already done, but I wasn't getting worse. So my eyesight has been pretty stable throughout the years. My left arm and left leg haven't gotten any worse throughout the years, and I really haven't faced any more challenges beyond just what I've had to deal with all my life. And so they've always said I've had cerebral palsy. Every doctor I've gone to has always said I've had cerebral palsy, but that's where they left it. I never knew, was it spastic? Was it a different type? I never knew. I didn't know. I didn't even know that what I have is called hemiplegia cerebral palsy until, excuse me, actually I started taking my daughter to the therapist, and I was talking to her about yeah, I've got cerebral palsy, but I don't know, a whole lot about it or what type. And she's like, oh, because it affects your left side, that's called hemiplegia. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now I know more. And my daughter has diaplegia because it mainly affects her legs along with her left arm. But see, I guess I make that point to show how much removed my family, and probably a lot of families for that matter, in the early 90s, you just didn't go around with t-shirts that said hey, I have cerebral palsy, yay, and some people choose to do that now, and that's fine. I still think it's important to bring awareness in whatever way that we possibly can. Let me back up. I've got a t-shirt that I had made that says Team Misty, and it's on the back. Hopefully you can see it. It says Bringing Cerebral Palsy Awareness. Because it is the most common disease or disability that is known to children in the world. And it just blows my mind that it's the most common, but there's so much that people don't know about it or don't understand. And so I want to change that so that we can become more inclusive, so that we can make things more accessible. And so, like, if we see somebody, like in my situation, when I am tired, well, you can even tell now, like, here's my right hand. My left hand looks different than my right hand, you know, and there's certain things I can't do with it or move with it. I can't turn it over. So it looks different. But I think the more awareness we have and the more understanding, the less we're going to be like, ugh, they look different. And I mean, saying that somebody's different is not bad. We just need to make sure that we're using the right language. And you also need to watch your facial expression, especially if it's a child. Because they're looking for attention and to be noticed and loved, and you don't want to scare them by your reaction to their situation either. So, yeah, this is all I've known all my life. I've had surgeries on my left ankle to lengthen my Achilles tendon. I've had surgery on my left foot to take off a bone spur. I've had surgery on my left hand. They took a tendon here and put it up here in hopes to help this. It helped a little bit. They moved my thumb around because it was in the way, so they moved it back. I've had 3 eye surgeries. And not at any point did I ever think that those things would cure me or take it away. They were just in hopes of lengthening my Achilles tendon. The hope was that it would make it easier for my ankle to move. But when you think about it, when your connection from your brain to your ankle isn't properly working, lengthening something isn't always gonna, fix the issue. So that's what I've experienced with my cerebral palsy over the years. Miss D, on the other hand, has not had any surgeries. She goes to physical therapy, she goes to occupational therapy. But her situation is different. I started going to therapies and things when I was 6 months old, and Miss D and her therapies didn't start until she was 2 and 4 months, something like that. So it was just later. Sometimes if it is found out earlier that a child has cerebral palsy, they can be a lot more successful with therapies and what they're able to do. Thanks to the idea of neuroplasticity, meaning, the younger the brain is, and always changing and things like that. If a brain path one way doesn't work out, that you can try to retrain your brain and your muscles in a different way in order to be able to compensate for situations that don't work out well. And so, yeah. But I just want to let you know that this is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, and so I'm going to be posting videos and things related to cerebral palsy and related to things I've learned over the years, and hopefully some helpful information, and hopefully some conversation. If you have questions about cerebral palsy, let me know, and we'll put it down in the comments, send me an email. You can find me at CP Mom and Daughter on Instagram. I have a view videos of CB Mom and Daughter on TikTok. You can find me on Facebook. So let's get connected. Let's talk, because cerebral palsy isn't something to be afraid of or something that you have to hide. It's just a part of who God has made you to be. So hope you liked this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye. God bless.